Please welcome David Moroni, everyone.
Oh, gosh. I was sitting there and thinking, how can I follow Hollingsworth? That was really a beautiful presentation. Well, don't you know, I am very emotional because Eddie and I haven't connected in many, many years. At one point, our careers took us apart for many years. She was the first person that I saw in my class when she was a teenager, the first day that she came to Winnipeg. And I remember looking at the class, and I stopped and I looked at this young lady, and I thought, oh my heavens, there's a diamond in the rough. What am I going to do? I can't cut a diamond into beauty. I haven't had enough practice. However, I'll try to do my best. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, there is a God for those who wait. And this evening is a perfect example, because what you've just seen is one of the most emotional moments of my life in meeting with Evie, dear Evelyn, once more. And I thank her from the bottom of my heart for doing such a beautiful tribute and a way to get back together again. Evelyn, I have always, always loved you. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. When I retired, I thought my career was over. But you know what? This evening really opens the door all over again. I'm delighted to be here, and I'd like to thank Vicki and Amy and the wonderful, fantastic organization. Do you know what these people are doing for us? Not only are they honoring those who contribute to the dance in every form, but they also are keeping the history of Canadian dance alive and well. And for that, my goodness, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, when Vicki told me you have to make a speech, and I said, well, do we have how much time? She said, just a short speech. And I thought, oh, okay, that's well, I'm not more than 5 minutes. Well, you know what? I'm going to take a bit longer than 5 minutes, and I'm going to tell you 3 highlights in my career. 1, as a principal dancer of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. 2, as coach and teacher. And the 3rd one, you're going to have to guess. Now, the first 2, I was a part of. It was not about me, but I have to go there. And the first one was when, in the 60s, well, it was 1968, and Paris, France were actually hosting the Paris International Dance Festival, at which, from what I'm told, were approximately 12 or so companies from around the world, from as far as, first of all, America and Australia. And the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, at that point, believe it or not, we were planning to go to the Soviet Union. So we were in rehearsal in Winnipeg with a program to go to the Soviet Union. But as the Paris Festival was unfolding, they found out that one of the companies had to bow out, and they were close to opening, so what to do? Well, somebody recommended that they go to Winnipeg and have a look at the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. They were in performance, getting ready to go to Europe, and would they look at the Royal Winnipeg Ballet to see if they qualified? They came to Winnipeg, and of course, sure enough, we were accepted, and we were invited at the Paris International Festival of Dance, which we attended. But here we are in France. We're dancing our heart out. It's a fantastic experience. First time, really, I think, that we were going abroad. And from Paris, we had to fly to Moscow the next day. And we had to fly to Leningrad and perform first Canadian company to be behind the Iron Curtain at that time. Not only that, as we all know, classical ballet really reigns in Russia, and you better damn well know what you're doing if you're going to do that. So here we were in France trying to go. So we fly from Paris and we land in Moscow at 3 o'clock in the morning. was pretty tough, let me tell you. And then the next day we're called in for rehearsal. So we go to the theater, and dancers will know this. Rehearsal schedule is on the board, and you're expected to, see what the schedule has. So we went to the board to see what our day was going to be, this in the theater. And suddenly we hear this incredible music coming from the theater. Ladies and gentlemen, we had 50 musicians in the orchestra who were going to play for us from the Bolshoi Orchestra. So you can imagine what this did to us. But not only that, here you go. While reading the schedule on the board, there's a telegram. The telegram says, "Congratulations, Royal Winnipeg Ballet, for having won the gold medal as best company at the Paris International Dance Festival." And not only that, ballerina Christine Hennessy got gold medal as the best female interpreter. Now, wait a minute. We didn't know that this was a competitive festival. So here we are, and the telegram was signed, Honorable Pierre Elliott Trudeau. So you can imagine what this did for us. We needed that jolt that gave us the confidence to get out there and to perform, and here we were in Moscow dancing. And for me personally, it was not about me. I was part of it, and I shall never forget the experience. So that's number one. Number two. Well, one day, one of my young dancers, David Peregrine, who partnered Evelyn, by the way, in the school, came to me and he said, "Mr. Moroni, I want to show you a film. Do you have a moment?" So we went to the studio and put on the film. And I said, "Well, what's this, David?" He said, "This is the Varna competition in Bulgaria. This happens annually, and this is where the cream of the crop from classical ballet compete." And he said, "Wouldn't it be nice if we went?" And I said, David, be realistic. No. He said, "Not to compete. Just let's go and see what the rest of the world is doing. Wouldn't that be wonderful?" And I thought this was just a little far out, but don't you know, we end up going to Varna, Bulgaria. Now, the competition took 3 weeks. The dancers had to have 5 pas de deux that they were going to be sort of scrutinized and compete. First week, now the dancers didn't have their name, they had numbers. So Evelyn had a number, and David had a number, and they came. I was the coach, and we had a pianist, Earl Stafford, and we were just 4 little Canadians in Varna, Bulgaria. And so we rehearsed, we got ready, and the whole thing sort of started to happen. And what we were supposed to do is at the end of the first week, go check on the bulletin board to see if the numbers of the dancers were scheduled to appear for the second week. I was so scared. So I went to the board and I looked and thought, for Evelyn's number, oh good, Evie's in. Second number, David is in. I said, oh, so we're going to be into the second week. And I thought, oh gosh, quite an experience. Second week, at the end of the week, again to the bulletin board, my 2 dancers are still there. I said, oh my God, can you believe it? We're going to make it to the third week where the crème de la crème will be performing. So here we are. And by the way, it was an outdoor theater as well. So you can imagine all the things that are attached to an outdoor theater. Well, David and Evelyn and David, my sweetie pies, were out there. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you that for the first time in my life, I actually witnessed what they mean stopping the show. Now, Evelyn and David had done all their classical pas de deux and done very well, Don Q and Giselle and all of them. By the way, she was a beautiful Giselle, beautiful, beautiful. Anyway, so here we are, and the last, they were doing Belong. At the end of their performance of, and by the way, there was an announcer who would announce all the dancers by number who were to perform, and so on went the show. At the end of Belong, the audience rose to its feet. The applause went on and on. The show stopped. The only way, if I recall this correctly, if I've made a mistake, Evelyn, you can correct me, the only way they could keep the show going was by the announcer taking Evelyn and David to go back to the microphone as though they were going to speak. At that moment, everyone sat down, quiet in the audience, and the announcer said, and now we will have contestants number so and so. And that was totally amazing. But the final crowning of that, can you believe it? Evelyn Hart was given gold medal. The Bolshoi ballerinas had performed, American ballerinas had performed, and everyone had been there. Evelyn was voted gold medalist, not only gold medalist for the competition, but gold medalist by the city of Varna itself. They did not give that very easily. Apparently the last one who had received it was Vladimir Vasilyev from the Bolshoi, and Evie was granted it. David had, never know, he did, not silver, but yeah, anyways, forgive me. This isn't really prepared. I'm just ad-libbing all this stuff, you guys. Well, I was told it was supposed to be only about 5 minutes long, so here we go. Anyways, there we were. It was the most, Evelyn Hart was voted the top ballerina in the world. She was at that moment. What an honor. And this is, again, I was a little coach, little teacher. It wasn't about me, as it hadn't been about me with the winning of the Paris competition. It was that I was part of it, and I was very excited. And I told you a minute ago that there were there were going to be 3 highlights in my life. Can you guess what the last one is? Tonight. I never in a million years ever expected this kind of recognition. When you work hard, you do the best you can. I retired. I've been retired for several years now, and I thought that my public appearances were over. And you have to appreciate that I had to pull all of that back out again from having been a teacher and being in front of an audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only thank my country, Canada, all of you who have actually supported dance, continue to support dance, and please don't ever forget it. Keep on doing it, and please do embrace the beauty and the grace of the ballet world and all other dance forms. Thank you very much. Oh, what is that? Oh my goodness.